Well, it's official. Haas F1 announced today that the 2024 season will be the last for Kevin Magnussen driving one of their cars. If you saw the most recent Sports Saturday post I made, I very adamantly vouched for K-Mag to stay on the grid, whether that was in his incumbent Haas seat or at one of the remaining vacancies across the grid. Now, since I have this longer form platform, I should probably share how I even became such a staunch Kevin Magnussen fan in the first place. I enjoyed watching him his rookie season at McLaren in 2014. That debut podium was stunning. And even though he ruffled a few feathers, I thought there was definitely speed there, and he compared well to an established world champion teammate in Jenson Button. I thought he would have made a great pairing alongside Fernando Alonso, even for that ill-fated 2015 season in the first year of the revived McLaren Honda partnership. As Alonso was my favorite driver first, that would have been a dream driver pairing for me. But of course, he was relegated to reserve driver duties, and the fact that Ron Dennis dropped him from the McLaren program altogether via email on his birthday wasn't super professional, in my opinion. So I was really happy to see him land on his feet at Renault in 2016, and that car was a dog. It was designed to have a Mercedes engine, but after the takeover of the doomed Lotus squad, the Renault team had to shove their engine basically in the back of a car designed for a Mercedes power unit, and it was very slow, yet Kev managed a couple points finishes, and I think he deserved better treatment from the team and more stability than the 1 year contract they were dangling in front of him. And when the, at the time, new American F1 team Haas offered him a contract, I thought it was a perfect scenario. A driver I liked joining an American team, so I had to root for them alongside Fernando Alonso. But the real aha, okay, I want to root for this guy moment was actually the Hungary 2017 scuffle with his current teammate Nico Hulkenberg. That race, Hulkenberg forced Magnussen's then teammate Romain Grosjean wide at turn one. Kev noted on the radio, hey, if that's allowed, it's going to be a dirty race. It was allowed. Hulk went unpenalized. So Magnussen did the same thing because, in terms of consistency, it was within the rules for Hulkenberg. And he did it without even making contact. So when he was approached in the media pen, stood up for himself, took no shit from Nico, that's when I felt, okay, this is my guy. And with Alonso's pending sabbatical from F1 at the end of 2018, I had to find someone else to root for more permanently, and I was ready for that guy to be K-Mag. As we all remember, 2019 and 2020 were very tough for Haas with the sponsorship scandals, the car having great one-lap pace in 2019, but absolutely chewing through the tires. And then 2020 with the COVID-related struggles that affected everyone, and the car just generally being slow with the nerfed Ferrari power unit. When Haas announced that K-Mag was going to be replaced by Nikita Mazepin, it upset me at the time, but from a financial standpoint, it made sense because it ensured the survival of the team and the saving of hundreds of jobs, which from a human standpoint was more important. And seeing K-Mag race on my turf in the United States was refreshing. It seemed like he was reinvigorated, happy to be competing at the front for poles, for wins. And as a new father, it seemed like he had life in a pretty good place. But with global events eventually leading to Mazepin's departure from the team alongside his sponsor, Uralkali, seeing Kev get an opportunity to rejoin the grid, I remember where I was. I was in Vegas on spring break with some friends, and I got the notification on my phone, and I went bonkers. I was just so happy that for a second time, Kevin Magnussen had saved his Formula One career. That Viking comeback race in Bahrain was awesome, and scoring points afterwards in Saudi Arabia and just having general good pace through the first half of the season was really refreshing to see for both K-Mag and the team. Last season again was tough as Haas's traditional tire troubles reared their ugly head again, and Kev generally couldn't extract the maximum out of the car that his new teammate and former rival Nico Hülkenberg could. And this season with the better car, Kev has had a lot of situational misfortune, especially in qualifying, where he's been right there with Nico, but the smallest of gaps and strategic errors running him into traffic have knocked him out of Q1 and prevented him from securing an opportunity in Q3 like Hulk has done to be better positioned on Sundays to score points. Now, with that retrospective done, I will say, even though I'm a fan, I'm a realist, and as quick as Kev is on his day, he's not the most consistent driver. As hard of a defender as he is, sometimes he does cross the line. And especially relative to Hulkenberg, he just hasn't extracted the maximum out of the car, so I can see why Haas would want a new benchmark. But if you're going to replace K-Mag, make it an upgrade. The rumored signing that they're going to put alongside rookie Ollie Behrman is Esteban Ocon. And while Ocon has decent speed, he has pretty god-awful racecraft and is a cancer to his own team. Look at what he's done at Alpine. But obviously I'm not the decision maker. Obviously Aya Komatsu and Gene Haas see something that I don't. So I'll just have to leave it as is, take my fandom elsewhere and keep supporting Kev, whether or not he stays on the F1 grid. I hope he will. There are opportunities out there that I think he'd be a good fit for, specifically at Stake Audi, because he's driven all 4 hybrid power units in the turbo hybrid era of F1, and I think that would be very helpful for their engine development. But if he calls time on F1 for a third and probably final chapter, I'd love to see him in the States, get him to sign my water bottle that I had waiting for his planned appearance at the 2023 Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona before we had to pull out with a last-minute operation to his wrist. So that's a quick retrospective on the topsy-turvy racing career of Kevin Magnussen and my coinciding fandom of such a great driver. I hope to hear promising news regarding his future in due time, but in that due time, he, like the rest of us, will definitely continue to be balanced.